Online asynchronous classes can be difficult to create community in, but it can be done, and you're going to learn how right now. Hey everybody, I'm Leigh from teachingacademia.com, and I'm all about giving you the tools you need to navigate academia and make your best impact. Today we're talking about how you create a community in an asynchronous online class, because it can be really tricky. And I will tell you, the first time that I ever taught in this format, that was my number one concern. How am I going to get to know my students? How am I going to get them to know one another? How are we going to have any sense of community here? We never come together and interact with one another in a formal designated space and time. But I'm here to tell you, you can make it happen, and here are my tips for doing so. So first of all, I talked about this in a previous video. I have reach out emails, right, to help foster connections between myself and the student, right? And I'm going to have a card pop up. So if you want to hear more about that, click on that card. Definitely check out the reach out emails, because they are a great way to regularly communicate and make sure that you are regularly communicating with your students. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can highlight a student, all right? You may want to ask permission, but if you're just sharing what's going on in that class, that's fine. So there's a number of ways that you can do this. So for example, one of the ways that I did it a long time ago was I had a class blog, and so I would pick posts that students had shared to the blog. I would pick little excerpts from a post, and we would highlight, here's what this student has done. Here are some questions. Let's have a discussion around what this student wrote. Here's an excerpt from their blog post, and you can certainly, I link to, right, the full post. So go read it, go leave comments, go interact with that student in that space. So looking for ways that you can highlight a student, highlight the work that they're doing, get people talking about it, okay? That's always going to help build community and foster engagement and a deeper level of engagement around student work, right? Because it's one thing for me to have a class blog and ask my students to write blog posts. But if I really want some deeper engagement, if I want them really reading what their peers have written and discussing it, I can push past the, leave a discussion, leave a question or a comment on the post, and really highlight some posts and say, here's a particular challenge, here's a particular problem that a particular student is having, here's a really interesting situation, go talk, go leave a comment. That's what I want you to do this week. So highlighting students, sharing interesting work that your students have done. You might pick something that they've done and put it out in front of the community, but you can also ask your students, hey, I would love to highlight, feature you. What is something that you would like featured about you, right? You can have your students make a video. You can have your students simply email the class. You can make it a class assignment, right, where they're going to have to regularly share something about their work with their fellow students, and they're going to be expected to respond to each other's work in some capacity, all right? Within that, I like to embed problems that my students are experiencing so that others can assist with them, all right? So this might be sending out an email to the class, right, that says, hey, here's a question that came up in our discussion this week, right, our online discussion, or something that came out in somebody's work that they're struggling with, and we want to put this out to the community to really, get a lot of input, get a lot of feedback, get a lot of traction to help support the student around this particular problem. Now, as you've seen so far, a lot of this is about, sort of me, maybe self-directing students to share, or picking work that I want to share, right, and have students respond to. And that's going to be limited in terms of, you might be doing this on discussion boards, or you might be doing it on email or through a video. But you can also have students connect on social media, right? Like you can use Twitter, you can use a Facebook group, you can use Instagram, you can use whatever works, whatever platform works best for your class. And you can have students engage in regular interactions on that platform. And when you do that, right, it will build a sense of community. It will help you get to know your students, their issues, their struggles, their successes a lot better. And they'll get to know you as well, because you guys will be having these regular interactions and conversations on that social media platform. All right, so if you like this video, want more tips, click here, and I'm going to see you over in the next one.